You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, it's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Arriving in theaters nationwide this Friday comes the new supernatural thriller, Sinners. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers and World War I veterans, both played by Michael B. Jordan nonetheless, return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. But joining me right now on the show is one of the co-stars of Sinners, actress Wunmi Mosaku, who you know from series such as Lovecraft Country, Loki, and of course her TVA ties from Loki carried over to the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Wunmi Mosaku, a pleasure to meet you. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm actually tickled because right now I've known you from your best work, such as Lovecraft Country, Loki, and of course the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but I don't think I've heard your natural voice until now. You grew up in Manchester, England, and I'm always so curious about how English actors may hear the so-called American accent. What do we sound like to you, and how do you go about mastering it?
Oh, well, I love hearing American accents. I love hearing how different they are from east to west, north to south. It's a challenge, but we hear so much. We get so many of your TV programs when we're growing up, so we hear it a lot. And then, then getting to the specificity of different accents. Like my character in Sinners, I play someone from Louisiana, and I had a dialect coach in Beth McGuire who is amazing, and I love doing accent work, and it's interesting because it doesn't actually come naturally to me, but with a good teacher, I can get it. I can't just listen and repeat, but someone can break it down, the hows and the whys and what people are doing with their tongue and their mouth and the back of and their soft palate. I find it like a really fun challenge.
Sinners is, of course, a supernatural horror film. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, and as I said in my introduction, starring Michael B. Jordan. Tell me more about this story and how you as Annie come in.
So I play Annie, who is a hoodoo priestess, a conjure woman, a healer. She is powerful and full of love and understanding, and she has such a groundedness and connectedness with her ancestry and the spirit world. She is Smoke's other half. So Smoke is played by Michael B. Jordan. He plays Smoke and Stack, identical twins. And she is Smoke's person, soul-tied, his safe place and sanctuary. She's someone who has the intuition and the foresight and knows what's going on before most people know what's going on.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
Why you need him to do that? You big and strong enough to push past us?
Well, that wouldn't be too polite now, would it, Miss Annie? I don't know why I'm talking to you anyway. Smoke.
Don't talk to him. You talking to me right now. Why you can't just walk your big ass up in here without an invite, huh? Go ahead. Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead.
So you listening to this? Now we out here playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another and being polite. Now we is one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited. So you've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Yeah, something ain't adding up.
In working with someone like Michael B. Jordan and how you are intimately tied, there's a level of intimacy with your characters. Tell me about that production process. How much rehearsal time might you have with him prior to doing scenes?
We had 2 weeks rehearsal. Everyone spent this time kind of getting to know their characters, figuring out their costume, and spending time with Ryan and Michael and understanding their history. We had their history kind of written out like beat by beat when they met, when she moved from Louisiana, when he went to war. We spent this time just like trying to flesh out their past so that when they're reunited after 7 years of being apart, all that history walks into the room with them, and whether or not you see it as an audience, you feel it. And yeah, so the rehearsal period was really about getting to know each other, building that history between us, and building trust so that we can move freely with each other and safely, and know like where our strengths and weaknesses are, and where we need the support and the space, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sinners is a powerful horror movie, and the horror genre, I would say, has evolved over the years, where it was less psychological, less thriller, and more bumps and jumps and screams. And this seems a return to that. When you were reading the script, I'm quite sure it impressed you one way, but after seeing the final movie, it probably impacted another way. Talk to me about the powerful nature of the movie.
I feel like horror has such a, well, I want to say modern horror, but I don't watch a lot of horror. But since, like, for me, Get Out, horror has been such a powerful tool for empathy, for building empathy for with audiences, whether it's someone who looks so different from you, experiences the world in a different way from you. Horror, I don't know, it triggers all those like instinctive like adrenaline and anxiety in your sweat glands, and now you feel an iota of what it might feel like to be that person in that situation, and whether it's an asylum seeker in his house or Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. I feel like horror has a powerful way of connecting people who otherwise may not understand the horrors of humanity, that part of humanity. So yeah, I think it's a really powerful tool.
You said something right there I want to go back and get. You said you didn't necessarily watch a lot of horror, but if I look at your career, you've been able to do extensive work in either fantasy, this being horror, or science fiction. Is that by chance or choice that you've been in a world of make-believe? Let me put it that way.
I mean, for me, the story, the messages that are told in these projects, whether it's Sinners, Lovecraft Country, even in Loki, the story of like a crisis of faith, the story of vampires, a vampire spiritual or actual or energetically, that trying to take what you have, your gift, it's the story that matters. It's the character journey for me that matters. I feel very lucky that I've been in part of projects that really, the story has moved me. The stories have changed me, the way I look at the world, the way I interact with the world. So horror is, for me, it always boils down to the story and the lessons that I learn, and with the way I'm challenged in my way of thinking. And it just happens to be that some of the most creative ways of storytelling have been through horror in the last few years for me.
Are you someone who is there the first night to watch audience reaction to a movie like Sinners, to see you on the big screen? Are you someone who doesn't ever want to see yourself on the screen and doesn't want to critique your own work?
That's really interesting. I've never done that. I've never gone to the cinema on opening night to see the audience response. But my husband was saying the other day, maybe we should do that on Friday, and maybe I will. I think maybe I will, but it's not. I don't usually. I've never done that before, but with this one, it feels like it might be cool to do that.
I have a feeling you might be right. Sinners in theaters nationwide. See Wunmi Mosaku as Annie. Wunmi, thank you so much for coming on this evening, and much success for you and the movie.
Thank you so much.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and also YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. You can see live stream of the show. Check it out. Join in the conversation. Something that we've had plenty of conversations about as far as movies, how people want to consume movies, whether they're going to go to the theater or whether they're going to stay home and stream. And I've said that it's going to be very difficult for movie theaters to survive going forward. I want to tell you now about a North Bay movie theater which is accepting donations because they cannot compete anymore due to streaming.
Tiburon locals coming in left and right Tuesday to donate money to what they call their community's theater. Owners of Cine Lounge Tiburon says they are in over $400,000 in debt, and they fear they'll have to turn off the lights for good.
Honestly, it's been the hardest. It's been the hardest, probably 6 months of our lives, and just seeing something that you've created just falling apart.
Not making fun of her suffering, not at all. But if you say the hardest 6 months of your life, you have to think about that's the 6 months since summer. Movie theaters are still continually struggling with trying to find content, having actual movies stay in theaters more than 2 weeks or 20 days, and also good movies. We have seen fewer movies being made, fewer movies being in theaters, fewer movies staying in theaters for any length of time. And you have fewer theaters staying open all 7 days of the week because you can't hire staff or pay staff when there's really no reason for them to be around if you're not filling up the theater.
It's been the hardest, probably 6 months of our lives, and just seeing something that you've created just falling apart.
Owners Christian and Camilla Mayoli say the rising popularity of streaming services and rent costs have led to the plunge in ticket sales at their downtown theater. But as Cine Lounge customer Brian Higgins sees it, watching a movie in person outweighs streaming.
And it really is like stealing away that experience that I would like my son to have.
I get the communal experience of movies, but at the same time, I would rather do without a lot of the inconveniences of movie theaters, the a-holes, the drive, the time in which I have to go to a theater. I can't watch a movie after midnight, most likely, because the movie isn't offered and I can't stay up that late. And you can't watch it early in the morning because most theaters don't open before 11 or 12 o'clock. So it's one thing to want to have that communal experience. It's another thing to actually have to go out of your way to experience it. When that exact same movie that is in a theater right now will be available for you to stream in under 3 weeks, and just about every instance, 3 weeks.
It's hard when you think that, wow, this is going to become an anachronistic thing at some point if we don't come together to protect places like this.
The Miolis are doing everything they can, even offering free showings like the Bluey movie, which the Higgins family watched together.
I just like this place because they have dots, and I really like dots. But I eat some fruits and vegetables sometimes.
The Cine Lounge offers the traditional blockbuster movies, but they also screen classic films and host various events.
We like to keep it interesting, and I feel like you kind of have to these days.
The Miolis say running the Cine Lounge is a dream. They took it over during the pandemic to help people get over dark times, and they say they want to continue to spread the love of movies to everyone.
I can be sympathetic. In fact, I am sympathetic, and I understand how and why this movie theater is probably not special in the sense of the problems that it's dealing with and the struggles that it's going through. I don't know how you change that. I don't know if, as long as there is a more convenient option and arguably a less expensive option. For example, I can watch any movie after 3 weeks or so at home for about $20. I cannot see a first run movie for $20. It's going to be at least $18 for one ticket. And I'm going to buy something to eat, which is going to be another $18 realistically. I'm going to spend probably $40 to see that one movie by myself, not including the time spent of driving to and from, gas in between.
And then risk getting shot when you tell the people talking like they're in their own living room to STFU.
Well, you can't even guarantee the quality of the in-theater experience beyond that. And I think that's the larger point where...
Like the corn dogs.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can't guarantee that you won't have the a-hole sitting next to you or in front of you. You don't know if the theater sound system will be up to snuff, because you go to different theaters. Sometimes it's too damn loud. Sometimes it's not loud enough. You might get Dolby, depending on the showing, if it's available. It's an inconsistent experience as opposed to at home. My home theater system is very consistent, and it's very consistently good.
Well, yeah, you've got an 80-incher on you there at home, but the thing
not
is,
including my TV.
I was only talking about your outsized television. The thing is, our culture has changed so much that...
Man, that was slow.
He didn't deserve it. Retract it. I want you to revoke that rim shot. When we were younger, people just decided we're going to the movies. That's a thing we do on the weekends, on a Friday night. Doesn't matter what's playing. We're going to the movies. Pick one. But now there's got to be a special movie that you specifically want to see to get your ass out of your house, because things have changed so much and there's so many options at home. And let's be honest here, the quality of movies, not great.
Quality of movies, not great. And also the frequency of quality of movies, not great.
I mean, if you saw the Oscars, this is the first Oscars where I was like, I'm barely interested in any of this stuff this year.
Yeah, and there's not the mystique that there used to be about movies. The people who are in movies, and going back to the Oscars, the only time you're going to see Bradley Cooper, for example, was going to be at the Oscars. Now with social media, we get to see what he's eating for lunch, when he's on vacation, when he's having a quiet moment with his daughter or something. All of that is out there. So the mystique for the movies and movie stars is not what it once was.
I was joking last week about, lying, that we used to go see the new John Savage movie, and these days we're going to go see the new Rami Malek movie. You don't really hear that anymore, and there aren't any like Sean Connery or whoever major stars are like, oh, his new one's out, I got to go see that. I'll see like the new Charles Bronson movies. I remember my mom taking me to the new Charles Bronson movies, and that was
Death
a thing.
Wish?
I think I was a little young for Death Wish, but some of the later ones.
I will say this before we go to break. I love movies, and I used to love going to the movie theater. It just doesn't serve the same purpose. It doesn't have the same utility anymore. For example, like The Amateur. I want to get to see it this past weekend. I couldn't because of my schedule. Guess what? It'll be on streaming in another week and a half.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. I always have reruns of my favorite shows in the background. And the first thing that I saw when I turned on my TV, Captain America, Brave New World.
Already on stream.
Already to stream. And I'm like, okay.
It's hard to fight against that. Now, they talked about making it a minimum a 45-day window, which would help, but it doesn't help what Mark brought out as far as the number of movies available and the quality of the movies is inarguably not on the same level. So, and since it's more expensive than ever before, you need to have quality to justify the expenditure. And if you're not going to up the quality, you're not going to justify the expenditure. It's later with Mo Kelly. We got to talk about this horrible Time 100 most influential list. Time is not what it once was. The magazine, the whole idea of a Time magazine is antiquated. It's even its presentation. But we'll tell you about this, and you'll laugh with us when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Let's get into this Time 100 most influential people of 2025. And when I was growing up, Time magazine was a big deal. Being on the cover of Time magazine, being the Time Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, now it's Time Person of the Year. Those were big deals in America. It was a position of status. It honored world leaders. It was relatively neutral. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, wasn't Hitler a Time Person of the Year, One of the Year, influential?
That was a little before my time.
Okay, no pun intended. But I believe so. In other words, it acknowledges people of great importance, not necessarily celebratory.
Yeah, it's people who have outsized influence, good or bad, notwithstanding.
Right. This year's list, and I think it's more of the same for Time. Time is not relevant anymore. Let's be honest. People don't read magazines anymore. People don't look to Time to tell us who is influential. And if you have a modicum of understanding of who actually exerts influence, you'll realize this list is an absolute joke, and it's not based in any type of reality. I don't know. They have a good publicist. Maybe they have an album which is getting ready to come out, and it coincides with their promotional needs. I don't know what it is, but this list is not indicative of real influence. Let's go to the list. It's broken down in different categories, and I'm just going to give you the name, and either you recognize the name or not. We're talking about influence. You should be able to speak to how influential that person is or how well known that person is. For artists, the first category, just reading the list. Ed Sheeran. No. He's not one of the most influential artists in the world.
Rather generous.
Scarlett Johansson. No. I'm sorry, not to minimize her career. She's one of thousands of different actresses out there.
She's an A-list actress, but what is her influence on the culture?
Have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
I will say, I was kind of taken by surprise when she had just the briefest cameo on Saturday Night Live this weekend, and she got a massive round of applause and hoots from the audience. Maybe she's more popular than we think.
I don't know. Not popular enough to get Kamala Harris elected. Remember she had that big campaign that she did with the other Marvel Avengers? I think she was one who spearheaded that.
Yeah, the Avengers aren't as powerful as they think.
Not at all. Daniel Day Kim, like him as an actor, but most people don't know his name if you just said it. If you happen to know him from I think Hawaii Five-0.
Lost.
Okay, I say Hawaii Five-0. You say Lost, tomato, but those are singular points of recognition. Fine actor, but still. Kristen Bell. Crickets.
Yeah. Okay.
Adam Scott. I know an Adam. I know a Scott. I don't know an Adam Scott. No, I don't know who it is.
He was the main guy, or not the main guy, but he.
Oh, not even the main guy.
Started on Parks and Rec.
That's very obscure.
Okay.
What can you tell me something he's did in the past 10 years?
Well, yeah. He's in that Severance show. That's
Severance.
Enormously popular.
Okay, I haven't seen Severance. All right, but still, it's an actor, not the actor. You know what I mean? An actor. He might be there
might be an argument there.
In the world?
Well, for what he's done recently.
I don't know if there's an argument. I'm waiting for the argument.
Okay.
Rashida Jones. I know who she is.
Oh.
But Diego Luna, the star of Andor.
I can't even tell you who he looks like, but I get why he's on that list.
Why?
Because he's like trendy.
Okay, but trending doesn't say to me influence. Andor is I'll say, well-regarded Star Wars Disney Plus property.
He's not even the best thing about that show.
But he's not a name where people say, I say Diego Luna, you automatically know who he is. We're talking about influence. No, Twella, don't you dare try to come here.
He goes far beyond the realm of Andor.
See,
he is a known actor. We don't go watch a lot of movies that he's in.
No, does not mean that he's Time 100 material.
He's an influencer in what he does outside of just in television and film and how he speaks out on issues in the world. He has become a player in that realm.
Okay, we need to get down this list. Nicole Scherzinger, Kristen Wiig, Willie Chavarria.
Wait, Nicole's number 2?
Nicole Scherzinger.
Number 2?
Is that Pussycat Dolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
That alone.
Okay.
Danielle Deadweiler.
Why not?
Hosier. He has that one hit song.
Hosier. Yeah.
It's got 2 now.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah. I've known of the other 2, but I wouldn't take the second one as fully a hit. But Miranda July.
What? Why are you hating on Miranda July?
I'm not hating him. I'm just saying it's not Time 100.
Just because you don't know what Miranda's been up to.
Brandon Jacob Jenkins.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Yeah. His name is my name too.
Yes.
Mohammed Rasulov.
Of course. In these days, yes.
Annabelle Seldorf.
You're just making names up.
No, I swear to you, I'm reading the names on the damn list.
She's a real person.
I was a big fan of Thalmus Rasulullah, too, by the way.
Yoshitomo Nara. Okay, now, next list is icons. We'll carry this over to the next break. So this is icons. Icons should not have to have any type of discussion. Either you're iconic or not. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Demi Moore.
Yep.
Okay. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He is the quarterback for the Super Bowl winning Eagles, but outside of football, nobody knows who he is.
He's the first one to say, fly, eagle, fly, or something like that. He did something important for the game.
Actor Adrian Brody. Now, the people on the other list are bigger than Adrian Brody.
But Adrian Brody is big enough to himself.
Oh, yeah, because he won that second Oscar.
See?
Giselle Pellicotte. I'll agree with this one. Giselle Pellicotte. Because of her.
Agree why?
Because of her case in France about being a victim of sexual abuse over 9 years. That was a huge world story.
Yeah.
Hiroyuki Sanada. I know him as an actor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess he's getting towards iconic status.
Is he from Shogun?
Yes.
Yes, but he has put in enough work to earn a spot on this list, damn it.
All right, let's go down this list very quick. No. Angeline Mirwa.
No.
David Muir. That's ABC News. Mm-hmm. Raquel Willis, not to be confused with
Raquel Welch.
Anthony D. Romero.
How in the hell are you going to skip Bobby Brown? What is wrong with you?
Because they don't mean Bobby Christina Brown. They mean Millie Bobby Brown.
It's time for a break.
And that's not even worth even mentioning.
Oh.
Yoshiki.
Excuse you?
Don't they have a beef bowl spot?
Don't you do that. Don't do that on the air.
Hold the MSG.
Amy Griffin. Not to be confused with Kathy Griffin. Leon Marchand. And Fatou Baudet.
Listen, there are two possibilities. Either we're all really out of touch or this list is trash.
I think it's the latter.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And YouTube. We're going through the Time 100 horrible list of most influential people in the world. And the only way I can get to this list, we're going to do it like this. I'm going to give you a name, and you have to tell me whether you even know who they are. Okay? That's how obscure they're going. Now we're in the leaders portion. Okay? Keir Starmer. Anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Claudia Steinbaum. I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
President of Mexico. Donald Trump. Anyone? Anyone?
Yeah, rings a bell.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Home Alone 2. Got it.
I see what you did there. Maria Corina Machado.
Nope.
I like the name. I like the way you said that.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He deserves to be on the list. Muhammad Yunus.
Sounds familiar.
Got nothing.
But
Howard Lutnick. I know who he is.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be on the list.
Okay. Commerce
Secretary. He's only come into any type of prominence in the past 80 days. Tedros Adhanom never mind. JD Vance.
okay.
I think it's perfunctory that you put the Vice President of the United States on these lists, so I'm not going to complain about that. Rishma Kuoramani.
You don't know Rishma.
Friedrich Merz.
Nor do you know Friedrich.
Megyn Kelly. I know who she is.
Oh, come on.
There are other podcasters that you can put on this list.
Yeah.
Lee Jae-myung. Is that the president of South Korea? I don't know. Teresa Ribera. Don't know.
Nope.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Andrea Vidar.
Vidar.
If you don't know the pronunciation, that means they don't belong on the list.
Duma Boko.
Not to be confused with
Boko Haram.
Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Russell Vaught. I know who it is. Yeah, I just don't know how the OMB director gets on the Time 100 other than just pandering to the administration.
His Project 2025 agenda is being implemented right now.
Well,
that's
true.
why he's on the
list.
That's
true. Okay, then I'll change my vote then. Yes, that was very influential. Javier Milei. Noah Argamani. Mo Abudu. And Ahmed Al-Shara.
Okay.
And now for the Titans category.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Serena Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ed Bastian.
Who's that?
Blake Lively. Because she's in the news with the Justin Baldoni lawsuit.
That's dumb.
Ryan's wife, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
This year? Yeah, okay.
And for the past couple years, yeah.
Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She's having a moment.
Doug McMillan. Don't know. Miyuka Prada.
Prada. Yeah.
Okay.
Prada. Yeah.
Percival Everett.
No Named after the Everetts?
I don't know. Ted Sarandos. That's Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Joe Rogan. Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa Sue. Don't know. Mark Zuckerberg. Yes.
Okay.
Bonnie Y. Chin as opposed to Bonnie B. Chin. I don't know. Alex Karp.
Nope.
Jonathan Greenblatt. Yes.
Yeah.
Stephen J. Squarey.
I for a second, I thought this is Stephen J. Squirt. I didn't know.
It might as well have been.
Okay.
Pioneers. And I think this is the last. No, there's another category after this. We'll run through this. Pioneers. Denise Hassabis.
Nope.
Rose, as in like wine.
Or is it Rose?
Well, it has the accent over the E, so I think it's Rose.
Rose.
Andrew Forrest.
That's Everett Forrest's brother. You're talking about Forrest. That's the Forrests.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Robert Montgomery. I don't know Bob. Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. I think that's WNBA players. And if so, you have to have Caitlin Clark. You have to. Influential, not a conversation. Mm-hmm. Not even close. Just the interest in Caitlin Clark and what she did for the ratings for the WNBA, like her or not, it's inarguable.
Yeah, you can't.
Robin Wall Kimmerer. Dario Amodi. Miles Smith.
Your son is on this
list? I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I don't know how he did it
on this list
before I did. Cordelia Barr. Julie Burkhat. Liang Wenfang. Allison Sesso. Tomas Silar and Wesley Sundquist. I don't know. No. The innovators. Here's the last list very quickly. Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Sure. Nikki Glaser. She's had a great year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ma Yansong. Don't know. Larry Fink. Don't know. Kwame Onyuachi. No. Nope. Sandra Diaz. Micheline Thomas. John M. Chu.
Is that the director? Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Wendy Freeman. Don't know. Josh Koskoff. Chudatip Nakstuntaranan.
Wait a second.
I'm serious. I'm not making it up.
Just a minute there.
Chudatip.
He didn't make that up.
Christian Happy.
Is she?
Ismahain Eloafi.
No, it ain't.
Sky Perryman. Tim Cadogan. And Dick Thompson, better known as Richard. And there you have it, the worst times 100 most influential list of 2025. It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI M640, and YouTube. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to give you the latest.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the